WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
The longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow. You know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore. There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. A little late, better late than never, but alongside Lucas DeSangro, I'm your host, Fearon Derry, and we are here live at the MFPW Arena, gearing up for a huge event for no other reason than it's admission's absolutely free.
Absolutely free. We're giving away, we're practically giving away a tremendous show filled with pro wrestling action.
We most certainly
Absolutely
are. It's here
free.
at 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. You can see your favorites from the MFPW. Also, one of the things announced, 3 champions teaming up. Punisher Martinez, the heavyweight champion of the MFPW, along with Supersonic champion LSG and the MF Live champion Cody Vance. They're teaming up. Who they'll face? Well, you'll have to find out tonight. Also, the Graysons, the amazing Graysons, they're taking on Paid in Full, former tag team champions. The winners will take on Rico de la Vega's Beast Cartel later in the evening with the MFPW Tag Team Championship on the line.
Yeah, this is already 2 matches. I'm sold. Put me in a seat.
And as posted in the MFPW, it says, speaking of titles on the line, all champions should be on notice. Wonder what owner and Commissioner Danny Cage pretty much means that they could be ready for anything, anything can happen in professional wrestling.
Well, I was going to say, judging by the last show, the monster ticket.
This is true, yeah, exactly.
I feel like everybody should be on notice. It could be anytime, any place.
That's right, and Matt McIntosh, who won that monster ticket a couple of weeks ago, will be at the arena tonight. So could he redeem his ticket?
You have... If I were Matt McIntosh, you have 3 champions in one ring after a match that I'm assuming will be very hard fought. And you can take you can pretty much get the leftovers of what's left of everyone.
Absolutely.
I feel like they should be on notice all the time, because as long as you have a ref, you could challenge somebody for a match in the parking lot after the show.
MF Live Championship, absolutely. But also, with the monster ticket. So even more eyes needed in the back of the head, to use the stereotypical cliche.
Yeah.
Also in action, the Major McClendon is here. Also Nick Westgate, Bobby Wayward, Plunkett the Ogre, and many more. That all goes down later tonight. Check out the new merchandise as well. The new merchandise, the T-shirts that just came in for the Monster Factory, the MFPW, the MF Pro Academy. All fantastic stuff there. The doors open at 6. The action starts at 7. Check out the MFPW and all things Monster Factory on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, plus at monsterfactory.org. And you can check out past matches, bios, bloopers, and a whole bunch more at the mfnetwork.com. And if you're making your way down here, maybe you could do a little bit of tailgating with our friends over at the Hometown Deli right outside the MFPW Arena at 541A.
Legitimately next door.
Yeah, legitimately next door at 541A Mantua Avenue. They are open until 7 o'clock, just as the bell time starts. They've got all kinds of hot sandwiches as well as hoagies. They've got different types of salads. They've even got some breakfast thoroughfare as well. Plus, on the weekends, those homemade pastries that I know that you like and enjoy ever so much.
It's in my nature as an Italian. I need to get
true, they are cannolis.
I need to get a cannoli every single time. Apparently, it's a cannoli.
So it's a soft C?
I don't know. I don't care. I'm eating it. What more do you want from me? It's not like there's somebody in Italy going, it's pronounced macaroni and cheese. Don't be culturally insensitive.
Well, then what's the whole deal with the whole sauce and gravy thing? You know what? That's a whole nother discussion for another day.
We're not even on the right show for that, and I haven't eaten since 5 a.m., so please, can we not?
So we're going to get away from the whole food thing?
As quickly as possible.
Other than checking out the Hometown Deli, 541A Mantua Avenue. You could also give them a call as well, 856-687-5339. It's a great way to kind of show up early, get your tailgate on before the huge free event. There you go. Take the money that you would have used for the admission. You could put it towards some merch there. You could put it, merch here. You could put it towards a little bite to eat at the Hometown Deli.
And you could also put it towards a bite to eat at the concession stand at the MFPW.
This is true. Arena. So if you're hungry for food and action, we've got you covered.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're hungry for wrestling news and discussion and whatnot, we've got you covered there as well.
Absolutely free.
Yeah, yes, it's free radio, so it's not like we're subscription-based or anything, unlike some radio shows or podcasts or anything of that nature.
I'm aware of that. I was just playing off of, what we were just talking about.
That didn't exactly work so well.
Maybe not to you.
It's one of those it made sense in your head kind of things?
No, it was one of those it made sense until you started questioning it.
Well, that's what I do. I question answers and answer questions. That's how I roll as a broadcast journalist. And you are seething right now.
What's on the agenda?
So what's on the agenda for today, apart from me making a fool out of both of us? Well, paying tribute to Mr. Fuji. Of course, that sad news coming over the course of the past week, this past Sunday. Going BOLA-ing this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, No, wait, that's a joke that's usually reserved from 9 to noon on Saturdays.
Or as it goes for one of our colleagues at the Monster Factory, BOLA-ing this weekend.
Oh, yeah, I see what you did there. Also, a Canadian shakeup happening in November, and Ring of Honor getting its kicks with 6.
And, speaking of Canadian shakeups, I feel like we sort of at some point have to bring up the fact that we now have a new WWE Universal Champion.
Oh, of course.
Out of a certain rugged Canuck.
Hey, you watch your mouth, eh?
Hoser.
You hoser. Yeah, he took the words right out of my mouth.
What? Canada sucks.
Thank you, extremely thinner Peter Griffin.
That's slim press and all that,
Yeah, either that or the veal diet. I'm not sure which. Also, yes, let's go ahead and get right into it. Harry Fujiwara, who worked as Mr. Fuji in WWE, among many other places, passed away on Sunday morning. As a wrestler, Fuji was a 5-time WWF and WWF Tag Team Champion.
5 time.
Something like that, yeah. I see where you were going there, Booker Twitch.
Can you dig it, sucker?
I'm going to have to take that as a drop at some
point.
You are really getting your shtick in today.
Oh, yes, I am, because I do not care. I am... The only thing I care about is not cursing on air, so other than
So it's like any other show?
Yeah, pretty much. But I'm running... It's going to be even more fun, because the sleep deprivation tour has made a
stop to the Sangro household?
For a while, yeah. I'm now on the bus with you to the sleep deprivation.
Yeah, welcome aboard. Anyway, back to Mr. Fuji, a 5-time WWF and WWF Tag Team Champion, 3 times with Toru Tanaka, and twice with Mr. Saito. Wow, Japanese names that I didn't have to work too terribly hard to pronounce.
So Tanaka...
I'm sure that, once we get into the other story where we're going bowling...
Is Toru Tanaka in any relation to Masato Tanaka, I believe, who was from ECW?
I don't believe so. I think that'd be kind of like asking if somebody Smith was related to somebody Smith. It's
Davey Boy and David Hart? Why, yes, they are related.
You're the worst today.
Yep. Oh, I'm the worst. Yeah. I'm not even going to try.
Can I be like the Eagles and trade you away like Sam Bradford? Yeah, current news. How about that?
Oh, wait, they traded away Bradford?
Not current to you, apparently. Yeah, for those who missed it earlier today, the Minnesota Vikings have struck a deal with the Philadelphia Eagles for starting quarterback Sam Bradford. The Vikings giving up a 2017 first-round pick and an additional fourth-round pick, conditional pick in 2018. So there you go. Considering that one of the bosses is Merrill Reese, I got to squeeze a little football in whenever there's something super duper relevant, and trading away the starting quarterback would qualify as relevant. So,
yeah, because now I haven't watched the Eagles in so long. I don't even know who our quarterback is now.
Well, it looks like, based on reports from Adam Kaplan, that the number 2 overall draft pick Carson Wentz is set to start 1 week from tomorrow against the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
So there that is. Anyway, back to Mr. Fuji, because we go on so many tangents. Fuji also had a decade-plus long career as a manager, leading Demolition to the WWF Tag Team titles and Yokozuna to the WWF World Heavyweight Championship on 2 different occasions. Fuji was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame back in 2007. Fuji was 82 years of age.
True legend of the business.
Yeah, absolutely. I still, the 11-year-old in me still is mad at him for throwing salt in Bret Hart's eyes at WrestleMania 9.
Just trying to make sure. Was he still manager for Yokozuna when he and Owen were tag team champions?
That is a good question. I don't know if he came out along with them or not. That's my memory of WrestleMania 11 is a bit scarce, and
for good reason.
Well, yeah, partly. I mean, I've been trying to subject you to it, but you've wanted no part of it.
Yeah,
you've wanted none of it.
Because I know what it is, and yeah,
I know. Hey, this is terrible. Come watch this.
No, that's the terrible. Like that.
No, it's one of those so bad it's good kind of.
No,
things.
It's not. I really don't think it is. Because, it's so bad it's good, the whole broken Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy thing. It's just so bad it's amazing. I don't think that WrestleMania 11 will captivate me the same way.
Apparently I need to delete.
Yep.
Apparently, I was going to say, it doesn't look like there's much to delete at this particular point. That notwithstanding,
way to segue out of that one.
Well, yeah, because otherwise I knew you might say something you may not necessarily want to. Now, in this hour, we'll see if we can get a word with one of the MFPW stars who are here, or maybe one of the students here at the MF Pro Academy.
Maybe even the man himself, Danny Cage.
Oh, don't press your luck now. I mean,
yeah, we'd probably hit whammy before we even got the chance. There's always hope.
Absolutely. So we'll take care of our first bit of business, and then we'll bring things on back here, talk a little bit more about the event. But first, another thing to let you about, some appearances coming up for George's Cards and Collectibles.
Woo!
That's right, including next Saturday, September 10th from 10:30 to 12:30. So show up early, go see this particular superstar, and then tune in at noon and give us a listen here. We'll be back in our normal time slot at that point. But over at George's Cards and Collectibles, former WWE superstar and leader of Exotic Express, Adam Rose, will appear at George's Neshaminy Mall location.
Now known as Aldo Rose.
Yes, this is also accurate. Then on Friday, September 23rd, former WCW diva and Macho Man Randy Savage valet, Gorgeous George, will appear at George's in the Neshaminy Mall. And just added for football fans, on that same night from 7 to 8 p.m., Philadelphia running back and kick returner Kenyon Barner for the football fans out there. George's Cards and Collectibles has been the leading collectibles store in the tri-state area for over 20 years. They have 3 locations. Their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Levittown, in the Willow Grove Park Mall, and in the Neshaminy Mall in the movie theater wing. Get the latest info on George's Cards and Collectibles at their website, georgescollectibles.com, as well as through George's Cards and Collectibles on Facebook. Going to send things back to the studio. Want to send thanks out to Jack Spears for turning the dials and pushing the buttons back at the station to allow us to be on the air all the way out here in Paulsboro, New Jersey at the MFPW Arena. Alongside Lucas DeSangro, I'm Fearon Derry, and this is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Buy your tickets now at SpectraTix.com. September 9th, kickboxing comes to New Jersey for Glory 33. Simon Marcus makes his second title defense in a middleweight rematch against Jason Wilness. Heavyweight champ Rico Verhoeven looks for a record 11 straight wins as he takes on Anderson Silva. A featherweight contender tournament. And Chai Lewis Perry looks to make it 4 wins from 4 knockouts. Plus, continuing action from the Women's Grand Prix tournament. 10 fights in one night. It's Glory 33 New Jersey, September 9th. Sun National Bank Center, Trenton. Buy your tickets now at SpectraTix.com.
Join Paul Jolovitz, Tom Cardella, and a different Eagles guest each week during the season for the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff. Every Monday at 6 p.m. right here on 1490 WBCB. All of your favorite shops are still open while the new Dion Square is under construction. You may have already visited the brand new First National Bank branch or the new Pat Dion Beverages. When all the work is done, the new, beautiful Dion Square will also feature a new Pennsylvania fine wine and spirits shop and a brand new CVS pharmacy. In the meantime, all of the shops are open for business while the new Dion Square takes shape. 518 South Oxford Valley Road in Fairless Hills.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
Buyer Financial Services can help you experience financial security through informed decision-making. The advisors at Buyer help businesses and individuals with their retirement, estate planning needs, and employee benefits. Buyer, business, individual, retirement, estate. Call 1-800-838-BIRE or 610-825-4066 to talk to a buyer representative so you can sleep well at night.
Securities offered through Parkland Securities, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC, branch office 4066, Butler Pike, Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, 19462. Buyer Financial Services is not affiliated with Parkland Securities, LLC.
He's got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so he might have...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe. Gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com alongside Lucas DeSangro. I'm Fearon Derry, and we are here live at the MFPW Arena in Paulsboro, New Jersey, gearing up just mere hours away from the doors opening for an absolutely free entry event.
Yeah.
And boy, is it going to be a lot of fun. A few people doing some warm-ups, and hopefully we'll see if we can get a word with some of the folks here. See if we can pry somebody over. We'll find out hopefully in a little bit here, maybe perhaps in the final segment. But a couple of things to note. Let's you in a mood to go bowling?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah, of course.
If I can
BOLA.
find out how to watch it.
Yeah, there is that. Tournament matches advertised for the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Battle of Los Angeles event. It's being held this weekend, presumably in Reseda, California. It's kind of one of these, like, almost secret-y kind of things. It's like I don't know, where you almost have to give a password to get behind the door, kind of like...
or buy a ticket,
or buy a ticket.
like a civilized human being.
Well, I mean, as far as exposure to everybody else. Like, it's got a lot of popularity online, but only those who have access to the event there are able to see it.
Yeah, that is one of those things. But you'd think, like, but I don't think there's really a way to watch PWG at all. I think their shows are just, they sell them on DVD, but you can find, I don't know. How are they going to build up a viewership?
I think they're going with the word of mouth. I mean, they've got us talking about them.
Yeah, true, but I feel like there's a couple of reasons for that.
Well, okay, yes, there are a couple of reasons. You are correct.
I can't really, and this is no offense to Battle of Los Angeles, because I know it's a very highly regarded event, but I don't think we've ever covered it on the show before.
That would be accurate. But on the same token, I'd like to think that I'm trying to be at least a little bit more well-versed and try to talk
Well, I would love for that to be
a lot of different things. Yeah, I mean,
start
talk
covering G1 too and stuff like that. Maybe not in depth, but
What about I-28 or 075 or N39?
G1 Climax.
I know. That was a bingo reference.
I know it was a bingo reference, but there's a difference between bingo and bingo halls when it comes to this.
Oh,
Right?
okay. It's worth a shot. See, it's my attempt at a funny joke.
Yep.
But, there are 24 individuals who are in the thing, two of whom, I was going to say quite a few of whom we know from a few different things. Actually, 6 of the first-round matches occurred last night, where you had Will Ospreay beating Phoenix.
Obviously.
Well, I mean, there could have been some upsets. I'm just saying.
True. But Ospreay just won Best of the Super Juniors this year.
True.
So
yeah,
it's one of
that
those
was very featured. So okay, I guess in that regard, I could see that. Chris Hero beating Jushin Thunder Liger.
Okay, that's I feel like is a bit of an upset.
Also, John Hennigan defeating Matt Sydal. Yeah, that's a pretty dynamic first-round match.
I really wish I could have seen that match.
I guess you'll have to buy the DVD. Ricochet defeated Jeff Cobb.
I only know who Ricochet is.
Fair enough. Marty Scurll beat Pentagon Jr.
I know who Marty Scurll is, actually, from Revolution Pro Wrestling.
There you
in
go.
the UK.
And Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Tommy End. Now, the other 6 first-round matchups are set to go tonight, which will include Dalton Castle against Jack Gallagher.
Gallagher, you mean?
Or Gallagher.
Yes, from the Cruiserweight Classic, the very gentlemanly-looking fellow. It's a very nice mustache.
So I went for a hard G instead of a silent G.
Yeah, it's
Which is why I'm not a certified G.
How you doing?
Indeed. Also, Mark Andrews against Pete Dunne. Or Dunny?
I have no clue.
Okay. Also, Trevor Lee against Kama Itachi.
Itachi sounds familiar. Kamatachi, I think? I don't know.
Trevor Lee, I've never really seen them wrestle, I don't think, but I know the names.
Cedric Alexander.
No, him.
Who filled in as Adam Cole was supposed to initially be in the tournament, but he ended up stepping away, and Cedric Alexander took his place.
Becoming the Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah, exactly. Taking on Mark Haskins.
I don't know who Mark Haskins is. I know who Cedric Alexander is, though.
Fair enough. And there are 2 more I'm forgetting. Oh, because they're 2, we're going to be I was going to say, saving, I guess, some personal favorites for last. Cody Rhodes, who had the Battle of Los Angeles on his checklist, taking on Sami Callihan.
Ooh, speaking of Sami Callihan.
He's going to be at the MF Super Camp.
In October.
October 28th and 29th, absolutely.
That's going to be exciting.
That'll be a lot of fun. And one of the MF Pro Academy's own, Matthew Riddle, taking on Kyle O'Reilly.
That's just going to be a match full of, they're going to beat the ever-living daylights out of each other.
As
O'Reilly
I was going to say, one of the officials of the MFPW just arriving and providing a little bit of a taunt toward Lucas, referee John Gazzardo.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, don't say anything more about that.
Yeah. So, but back to my point.
This is a match with 2 lethal strikers. I've seen Kyle O'Reilly's work in Ring of Honor and a little bit of Japan, just from the highlights they would show and stuff like that. Very lethal kicks, something reminiscent of like Daniel Bryan in his Ring of Honor days. Like, I feel like if you're going to do the "you're going to get your bleeping head kicked in" chant,
that would be the match to do it.
That probably for O'Reilly. And then Riddle, I mean, season 7 of The Ultimate Fighter, first fight he had somebody who wasn't exactly a striker to begin with. He was one of the best Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighters in the world, broke a guy's jaw in 3 places. Dana Gould, oh my God, I'm still on
You're
comedy
still
mode.
in comedy mode.
Sorry, Dana White, he said that at that point, that was the greatest knockout in the Ultimate Fighter history. So you have somebody like Matthew Riddle and Kyle O'Reilly, who are also both submission specialists. This is going to be a match I think that a lot of people will be watching. I'm not just talking about fans. This is
it's certainly garnering a lot of interest without question. And as it goes on, we'll I guess provide more of we'll provide all of the results on next week's show.
Yeah.
So we'll have that to talk about. We'll have the preview to your boy in his big UFC fight next week. Speaking of UFC,
he's my boy, but there are a couple of stories.
Like the Temptation song, he's on shaky ground.
Let's put it this way. I'm looking at a couple of stories that I think we seem to have missed. Maybe because they were last minute for notes, but there's a big deal in the fact that Kevin Owens is your new WWE Universal Champion, which is, I think, a big deal. It's such a great thing that it's in terms of.
It is. You've mentioned it in both segments now.
Well, yeah, but I didn't say who. I was trying to tease it because.
Oh, okay.
First of all, I have no problem with Reigns being champion, but the fact that I think it was a good move to get the title picture away from Rollins and Reigns. Because I think a lot of fans were at the point where if they saw one more time of them facing off, it was going to get ugly. You can only do a match so many times. With Owens, though, especially the way they did it, it caught everybody by surprise. In fact, apparently, I don't know how much of this is true, but apparently only 3 people knew about that happening, which were Trips, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns.
Trips? And Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H.
Me and Trips, we were hanging out the other week.
No, we weren't.
I know. Just the way you called him that, it kind of seemed very casual.
Yeah?
I forgot who I'm talking to. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But
you'd think after all this time I would know better.
Yeah. Well, I'm just very happy because I had always pictured Kevin Owens as a world champion. You know, the fact that it happened at this point is surprising. I thought it would have come a little bit later, but I'm happy for him, as I feel he's somebody that you could have as a great heel champion.
Well, I think what got me about it was the mixed reaction, at least regarding how it happened. That was, I think, what got me. I mean, taking a look at the Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook fan page, for example, I know that there were certainly a lot of mixed reactions, which I'm working on pulling up as we speak here because technology. And
I feel like I can guess who commented that commented on, gave their opinions and who had said mixed reactions.
Well,
I'm not going to go out and name names, but.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just. We'll leave it alone. We'll go there. But let's say, for example. Well, okay, yeah, you're right. We'll withhold the name. You can go to the Facebook fan page to see it. And editing for content. What was that garbage? WWE took a classic match and ruined it with Triple H interfering. Oh, this was a no DQ match? And how can fans after the match chant, "You deserve it"? He might deserve it if he won straight up, but not bleep like that. Oh, okay. And after seeing the name now,
let's.
Oh, wait, you're trying to not.
Because they know what they commented.
Okay, well, I think it's more for the fact that they were more saying that he deserved to win than it is necessarily making the note of how was deserving.
I think it wasn't even, he did just one of those things of you earned it, like the title, I think that chant can be thrown around a lot looser now, because the whole thing with Daniel Bryan was, when he won after WrestleMania, people were chanting that all the time. But every time, a wrestler that, an internet popular wrestler wins the world title, people start chanting. And, while that is true, I feel like it's used too much.
I was going to say almost as bad as the "you still got it." That's my pet peeve.
True. But I understand where the fans are coming from with it. Just like the same thing with the "You Deserve It" chant.
Yeah, it's one of those where their heart's in the right place, but they don't exactly.
Well, to be fair, they haven't seen said wrestler that they think still has it wrestle in a while, so they might,
They may not know that they didn't necessarily lose it to still have it.
Yeah. Which is, it's to say they never lost it when this is getting too confusing. But like, whole never lost it, you still got it. It's redundant because that's what they mean. It's the same thing. But anyway.
Yeah, that's a pet peeve for another day.
The thing with Punk though, and if we have to get into it on the other side, then that's fine because I don't know.
We got a couple minutes. We're good on time.
A lot of this was like a breaking news, and this is a lot of people. It's been treated as like nobody's come out and said that it isn't true, but apparently CM Punk and Colt Cabana are no longer friends because of a thing. Apparently, Colt Cabana was backstage at a Monday Night Raw, and he was taking pictures and all that when they're deep in the middle of a lawsuit with head WWE doctor, I think
Chris Amon.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, Amon. And Punk. Apparently, they don't follow each other on Twitter anymore, or something along those lines. I just think, I'm hoping that this isn't true. I would understand why Punk would be mad that he would do that because it doesn't help their case. But at the same time, to end a friendship with somebody, for those of you that don't know, Cabana and Punk broke into the business together like 20 plus years ago. And even though Punk isn't still with, professional wrestling as a whole, to end a friendship over something like that I think it's a bit of an overreaction.
There's certainly something to be said about that. Absolutely.
Somebody that you've ridden, you rode with, you made the towns, not to, make a joke out of it, but they made the towns. They would travel, like in his DVD, they said they traveled from Pittsburgh to Cincinnati to Philadelphia to Kentucky.
That's an interesting step from Philly to Kentucky.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact order, but it's one of those things you've spent so many years on the road with this guy, and then you're just going to throw that all away because he maybe just wanted to see some buddies that he hasn't seen in a while.
It's an interesting line being drawn in the sand. That's for sure.
True. It's I just think I lost a good bit of respect for Punk because of that. If this is the truth, I'm hoping he comes around, but if he doesn't, he lost a good bit of respect from me.
And coming from you, that speaks volumes, since I know that as much as I joke that he's your boy, I know that he was your inspiration to get into professional wrestling.
Well, he was one of my inspirations. It's one of those things of like, I look up to the guy a lot, but if he does something I find morally questionable, I'm not going to try and make an excuse. I'm not that big I'm a big fan of his, but I also reason, I also have logic and reason, which is, something that sometimes people lack.
True. Looks like Plunkett the Ogre making his way over to the table here. Okay. I was gonna say, who am I to tell an ogre no? So yeah, go ahead. Put the headphones on there, and
we are on syndicated radio, so keep the language clean. Ogre.
Oh, I can actually hear through these headphones. This is way nicer than the last time I was on radio.
Wow, that's because you weren't here on 1490 WBCB
or on Pro Wrestling Weekly.
That's true. Ours was just a little college radio station where literally we couldn't hear anything through the headphones. I think it was just to block out everything else.
Oh, it was like a noise canceling type thing as opposed to, this is...
Yeah, the problem is the guy who hosted it was terrible and didn't cancel out anything that came out of his mouth, so...
Oh, wow. We'll withhold the names to protect the guilty in this case. So, Plunkett the Ogre... getting ready, gearing up for the huge free event tonight here at the MFPW Arena.
It is free. If that hasn't been mentioned yet, it is free.
Yeah, no admission price.
Wait, it's free?
It is free.
No way.
You can see great wrestling, guys who have been on TV, guys who are currently on TV, for free.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, you're set in action. I was gonna say your opponent has yet to be determined, but you're certainly someone who's always ready for a fight. Yeah, and you never know who it's going to be against, as we hear some of the say some of the practice and training going on in the background here as we're gearing up. Little more than 2 hours from the doors opening here, so still time to get on down.
You are correct. I have no idea who I'm facing tonight.
Nothing has been announced either. That's what I was looking at.
I think that's. I think that makes it kind of fun. I've had matches where I knew my opponent weeks in advance, and
you had time to prepare.
Yeah, but the more you prepare, the more you think about preparing, and then you overthink, and then when you go out there, there's so many things that go into a pro wrestling match, and having to add an additional thing to it, and it's just, I know what I do well in the ring. I know what I don't do well in the ring.
And beating people up seems to be your strong suit.
Speaking of, yes. I thought I had my mic closer. So speaking of, to build off of, what you're good and what you're not good at, let's go to, how you learn most of, what your strengths and weaknesses are. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where you, what school you came from, stuff like that, Why don't we go deeper inside the swamp and learn about the ogre?
How far back do you want me to go? Because I got told we're not supposed to bury anybody.
I would just say who you're currently training with now, because I think it's a semi-notable, quite a...
Yeah, accentuate the positives and hide the negatives. That's
a lot of the negatives.
Yeah, well, I did receive improper training for about the first year and a half, and it showed. And then I started driving to Rochester, New York, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from my house, and I trained with Colin Delaney.
Okay.
Who is a name that most people listening probably recognize. As a guy that, if you only know him from what he did in WWE, then you really don't have it. Yeah, you don't have a good idea of just how athletic he is, how talented he is, and how smart he is about wrestling. I mean, he got used basically as a punching bag and a rag doll, but for WWE to look at him and say, oh, okay, we're going to use you in this specific role on our programming to make our monsters look like real monsters. I think that says a lot about how talented he is for the business and how smart he is. And
a lot of people don't give enhanced, he was, the people that, the way he was used in WWE, a lot of people don't give those types of talents credit. And, looking at Colin Delaney, I mean, I've seen pictures of, he looks like he's beefed up quite a bit as well.
Yeah, he went through a little bit of a rough patch when he parted ways with WWE, but he eventually rededicated himself to getting in really good shape, and these days he is in really good shape and is actually...
He looks phenomenal.
He's had some pretty noteworthy matches all over the East Coast. He wrestled for another big New York promotion, which I won't name because there's only one promotion that I will actually name on this podcast, and that's MFPW.
Well, I mean, we're not a podcast. We're live. We're live. Jim Ross said to Sid all those years ago, we're live, pal.
We're live, pal.
What is it with big wrestlers and not knowing when we're live?
Oh, please tell me that's a drop.
It will be, yep.
I think I'm going to have to come out tonight and start fist pounding all the fans.
Psycho Plunkett the Ogre. There we go.
But
play some softball later.
I'm terrible at softball. But to kind of wrap all of that up and bring it around to where I am now, I think probably the best endorsement I can give for Colin as a trainer is that last spring I had an opportunity to come down to the Monster Factory. They were having a show and they needed someone. Ring of Honor star Congo put a post up online saying that he needed a couple of guys, and I hit him up, said, hey, I'm free, it's a bit of a drive for me, but I don't mind. I came down, I worked formerly Good News Hughes, now Tough Tim Hughes.
Yes, I do. That was the night of the That was the night we were the participants in the MF Super Camp. That was like the first MF Super Camp, I believe.
That was the weekend in May, first weekend in May of 2015. Yep. May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Yep, May 2nd was the day I came down. I remember I knew the history and legacy of this place, so I showed up in a shirt and tie, and the first thing that Danny said to me was, "Did you just come from work?"
I was going to say, I got a little nervous when he said, Dan said this to me, because we can't really repeat most of what he says on the air. We get nervous. We start seizing up once he gets near a microphone, even if he's not on the microphone. If he's within earshot, ooh.
Well, this is how talented of a speaker I am. I can say several things that Danny said that day, and they will all make air, and the FCC will have no issue with any of them.
Oh, they will let us be.
The first thing that he said was, again, asking me if I had just come from work because I showed up in a shirt and tie. And then afterwards, he was very happy with how I conducted myself throughout the day. Because, as you know, Danny is big on proper
personal
locker room etiquette and personal conduct and all of that. He was very happy with the match that I had. And he later would say that I was welcome to come here anytime, and he would find something for me to do.
And that still stands here some 16 months later.
Yeah, and I take him up on it every chance I get because, I'm, along with, MFPW being a good promotion that gets continuously bigger, more energetic crowds, it's also, in my opinion, the best wrestling school in the country. And I've said that out of earshot of Dan as well.
Well, now it's in earshot of people listening not only to 1490 WBCB, but people listening all over the world at WBCB1490.com, and I'm sure that the sentiment is greatly appreciated. Plunkett the Ogre, thank you so much for taking a few minutes. I know you got to get ready for your match tonight, but
I
appreciate
bring
you.
My stuff back. I just got here. So.
Still appreciting you spending a few minutes here with us. Certainly appreciated.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good luck in your match tonight against whoever you may do battle with in the ring.
Yeah, I got to go find that out, actually.
There you go. So Plunkett the Ogre is going to take care of that, and we're going to take care of timeout because we're well beyond the point of doing so.
Oh, we're going to be up against it in this third.
Yeah, we most certainly are. But before I do that, I'm going to hear it from back in the studio. I know. I've got to tell you about one of our fine sponsors here on the program. Today's a perfect day to stock up before the storm at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. It's a frickin' awesome Saturday. It's coming up at 4 o'clock. That's right, in just less than 15 minutes. I was about to say, what time? 4. But no, it's... that one's for Jack Spears back in the studio.
I'm so happy he's not near... This is one of the only times I'm so happy he's not near an engineering board at this point.
Oh, me? Because you know I would do that.
Oh, you would.
Anyway, today for the... Yeah, exactly. The boys at B-Gob will tap a mango pineapple wheat firkin. That is fantastic. A mango pineapple wheat firkin. Note that the Broken Goblet will be closed tomorrow for the holiday weekend, so today would be the day to stock up. And we're just 7 weeks away from Hoppy Halloween 3. That's right, a beer fest that they'll be celebrating the best libations available in Bucks County and the surrounding areas. It'll be Saturday, October 22nd from 5 until 9 p.m. More breweries, more music, more vendors, more surprises, and more porta potties.
Libations, you say?
Indeed. 25 breweries and other libationaries have already been announced. More details next week on them because there's so much going on already. Get your tickets as soon as you can for this one, as the early bird price of $25 ends this Friday. It's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Going to send it back to the studio and Jack Spears, and we're going to have a very, very, very short third segment coming up here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Play Money Stash, the new instant game from the Pennsylvania Lottery with 10 top prizes of $50,000 and over $10 million in total cash prizes. Pick up a game today. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. The Pennsylvania Lottery again generated more than $1 billion last year for programs that benefit older Pennsylvanians. Visit PALottery.com for more details.
Your health is your most precious asset. Tune in to St. Mary Healthline, presented by Gwynedd Mercy University, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. for advice on how to better manage your health. You will hear about important medical issues from the doctors and professionals across all service lines from St. Mary Medical Center. You will have the opportunity to talk or email your questions each week to the experts who can help you live a healthier lifestyle. St. Mary Healthline, presented by Gwynedd Mercy University, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. It's your health. Expect more.
Eagles fans, Merrill Reese inviting you to join me and a different Eagles guest every Thursday night, 6 to 7, for the Gwynedd Mercy University Pro Football Report, presented by BCWSA. We'll broadcast live from a Chickies and Pete's location near you. We'll break down the game and take a look at what's coming up for the Birds. Go to WBCB1490.com for location and special guest information. Can't make it to the show? Watch it live on WBCB1490.com.
Buy your tickets now at SpectraTix.com. September 9th, kickboxing comes to New Jersey for Glory 33. Simon Marcus makes his second title defense in a middleweight rematch against Jason Wilden. Heavyweight champ Rico Verhoeven looks for a record 11 straight wins as he takes on Anderson Silva. A featherweight contender tournament. And Chai Lewis Perry looks to make it 4 wins from 4 knockouts. Plus, continuing action from the Women's Grand Prix tournament. 10 fights in one night. It's Glory 33 New Jersey, September 9th. Sun National Bank Center, Trenton. Buy your tickets now at SpectraTix.com.
Are you curious what old antiques, collectibles, or household contents are worth? Listen Friday mornings from 9 to 10 a.m. for What's It Worth with Mike the Appraiser, right here on 1490 WBCB.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, September 3. On this date in 1984, World Class Championship Wrestling held its Labor Day Star Wars 84 Supercard. In the main event, Kerry and Kevin Von Erich defeated the Fabulous Freebirds in a handicap steel cage loser leaves town elimination match to win the world-class 6-man tag team championship. On this date in 2001, WWF Monday Night Raw aired live from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. In the main event, Chris Jericho and Jeff Hardy defeated Rhino and Rob Van Dam in a tag team match. On this date in 2003, the NWA TNA held its weekly pay-per-view number 60. In the main event, Chris Harris, James Storm, Raven, Jeff Jarrett, and D'Lo Brown defeated AJ Styles, Johnny Swinger, Simon Diamond, Christopher Daniels, and Shane Douglas in a War Games match. This has been Today in Wrestling History, September 3.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Special thanks to Plunkett the Ogre for joining us in that previous segment there. And getting back into it really quickly here, as we only have a few minutes left here live from the MFPW Arena, 541 Manto Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey, gearing up for the big event that we're just over 2 hours from the doors opening. Certainly going to be huge, but you heard in the Today in Wrestling History, the world-class 6-man tag team championship. Well, even though it seems like an antiquated concept, it looks like kind of like Crystal Pepsi. It's making a comeback.
Ooh.
That's right. Ring of Honor announcing it. They will be introducing new 6-man tag titles. The company will be holding an 8-team tournament beginning this month and concluding in October.
That's pretty cool. You've seen the comeback of the 6-man tag titles, just going over really quickly with the popularity of the never open weight tag titles in Japan with the elite, Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and then even in Lucha Underground they've started with the 6-man tag title. So you're definitely going to see it make a comeback.
And a lot of the 6-man factions, 3-man factions that we've seen probably contributing to that between
the Shield,
the Wyatt family.
That was when the idea first popped into people's head, because there was like rumors, and they were very vague. There was no confirmation whatsoever that they thought maybe they would put a 6-man tag title into play.
Instead, we now have SmackDown tag titles and a SmackDown Women's Championship, which will be they will both be determined at Backlash coming up 1 week from tomorrow. We'll tell you more a little bit about it. We'll give our predictions certain to go wrong for that coming up on next week's program. We're back at our normal time slot of noon to 1. Doing a little bit of bouncing around courtesy of high school football. Appreciate you tuning in and sticking with us here. And thanks to, Jack Spears and Ted Efaw for giving us a little slot here during the normal Country Roads program to do our show here for you. A couple more little tidbits here. WWE announcing that an NXT TakeOver Live special will be held the night before Survivor Series. The event will be held on November 19th in Toronto, Ontario at the Air Canada Centre. See, Raw was in Toronto back in this date in 2001.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tie things together here.
Very nice.
Almost like a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree, like the popular song from 1973.
Yes.
Anyway, tickets go on sale Friday, September 23rd. Along with the news of the TakeOver event in Toronto comes word that the company has canceled the live events that were scheduled for Toronto, as well as St. Catharines and Kitchener, Ontario, from September 22nd through the 24th. So instead, those are getting moved to the big event in Toronto. Fortunately, Toronto's probably about an hour drive from St. Catharines and probably about that same from Kitchener as well. So fans in those areas, which would include a few relatives of mine, sorry about that. And
hey, it's an NXT TakeOver event, like one of the ones that are, on location. Or sorry, it's like their version of a remote.
Exactly.
So I think it would be one of those experiences that would be worth it.
Most certainly. And fans who hold tickets to those events will not only get a refund, but they will also get a special pre-sale code for the NXT TakeOver show. So doing right by those fans who already bought tickets for those 3 shows in Toronto, St. Catharines, and Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. 3 places I'd like to think I know fairly well.
No.
A couple of years ago, I was at the Kitchener-Waterloo Oktoberfest around this time of year, and I also have quite a few cousins in St. Catharines, not too far across the border, right by Buffalo, New York.
Very nice. Right?
And Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn step by step, inch by inch. WWE will now be running the Air Canada Centre 3 nights in a row with the NXT TakeOver, Survivor Series, and Raw.
Ooh.
So, Canada indeed, yeah. You know it, eh? I know, I keep throwing the...
I feel like that's the... WWE wrestling fans in Canada are the only Canadians that really aren't polite.
Fair enough. All right, so we've got a couple minutes left as we are here live from the MFPW Arena in 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey, gearing up for the free event later tonight. Still have time to make it on down, and don't worry about that whole rain thing. I think the storm's being a little bit overblown. It's going to make its way offshore. We'll get a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain. We'll be good to go otherwise. So you can see some fantastic action, including 3 champions in action in 6-man tag action. The MFPW heavyweight champion Punisher Martinez, the MF Live champion Cody Vance, and the Supersonic champion of the MFPW Leon St. Giovanni LSG. Their opponents yet to be determined. That and a whole bunch more coming up tonight. The tag titles on the line as well. Now, we've got a couple of minutes left, and that means it's time for
birthdays.
One of Jack Spears' favorite segments. I kid you not. We were talking about it earlier. So on this date, I've got 3, technically I won't mention the date on a 4th one because it's kind of not as publicized, but going to definitely show some props to the 4th one. First off, in this date in 1969, Mariana Kamlos was born. The fitness model and former WWF valet, best known as Mariana and Mrs. Cleavage, paired with wrestler Chaz, a.k.a. Beaver Cleavage. Yep. Died in 2004.
That really weird, extremely weird and uncomfortable gimmick that they had.
Well, not to make things more uncomfortable, but she passed away in 2004 at the age of 35 due to breast cancer. Forget Canada. Cancer sucks.
Yeah.
Take that, Peter Griffin. Here we go. This will brighten things up because everything's better in this case. In this date in 1972, Robert Evans was born. The Ring of Honor wrestler and trainer, best known as Brutal Bob Evans, turns 44 today. Hang with him and things get better. Hashtag hangs with Bob.
Yeah.
Now, we'll go with the 3rd one and then go there. On this date in 1984, Teddy James Perkins was born. The former TNA X Division champion, WWE Cruiserweight Classic competitor, and member of the upcoming WWE Cruiserweight division, known formerly as Manic and currently as TJ Perkins, turns 32 today. And on this date in Censored for Air content, Bill Daly, the benchmark, was born. The recently retired professional wrestler in Ring of Honor and here at the MFPW, who I was fortunate enough to call his last match before he was diagnosed with spinal stenosis, the same condition that caused Edge to retire. Unfortunately, the damage to his C3 through C7 vertebrae in his spine. He turns 1 year older than he was yesterday. I'll leave it at that. But happy birthday to all of you there, and I've got enough time also for the Brucey bonus. Ooh. That's right. On this date in 1965, Carlos Irwin Estevez was born. The controversial Golden Globe winning actor and Slammy Award winner in 2012, who is certainly known for winning, Charlie Sheen turns 51 today. Told you the Brucey bonus can go anywhere. I forgot that he won a Slammy, so I was trying to do something outside of the wrestling.
I didn't even know
realm.
he won a Slammy.
Yes, he won in 2012 for
winning.
Well, it was a social media ambassador. Yeah, that's right, that whole thing. So that's going to do it for us. Thank you again to Plunkett the Ogre for joining us here at the commentators table. Thank you to Jack Spears back at the station. And until next week when we're back at our normal time, play us out, Charlie.
Newsflash, I am special, and I will never be one of you.
Serving you better than ever before. This is